Hello campers and welcome to our Winchcombe club site. It's a very sunny September day here in Gloucestershire and we're having a great time doing our cooking demos in the corner of this site. I'm really pleased to see that now that all the sites have opened up again, every single pitch here is taken, so we were lucky to get this spot in a glorious site. We've got I think people sleeping and fishing over there and ducks and swans. It's all keeping it very real here, doing some campsite cooking. Usually we would have spent our summer out and about doing festivals and events and doing our demos there, so I've really missed that, so it is really nice to be on site. As we can't do the NEC this year, we're taking our live show, we're making it virtual for you. So rather than the usual slick edited recipe videos that I'm used to making, I've been persuaded by this lovely crew to just do it live, off the cuff, and just let my chaos commence. So I will do that. I am making falafels in a flash, which it does what it says on the tin really, really quick. Really lovely, tasty falafels, brilliant for lunch. So here we go. I have a tin of chickpeas that I've drained and I've rinsed, and I'll put into a bowl. I like these ones, they're quite cool and packed down really low for my camper van. Now in terms of the tins, that's one thing I was going to say if you're looking for top tips on campsite cooking, is to always take a few with you. I've got my handy store cupboard kit that I take everywhere, and I always make sure I've got, say, lentils, chickpeas, tin tomato. What else have I got in there? Tin tomatoes, spices. My favourite spices, I always take paprika, maybe some mixed herbs, cumin, coriander. That way you can really keep costs down. So you only go out and about and buy one or two items, and then when you get back to your pitch, you've got everything you need to make a dinner. That's the thing, camping is a really good way of doing a budget holiday, so there's every reason to come up with ideas of how to keep the food on budget as well. So I make a lot of recipes for the club. I do come up with ideas that are easy to make on a campsite. In fact, every recipe I write, I think of whether you could actually cook it, whether you're on a single gas stove like this one, or in your tent or in your camper van, that you would be able to put together a good meal. So if you go onto our club pages, go onto the Eat Local recipe pages, then you can find all kinds of recipes there, possibly even this one. I think this one is on there. So my tin of humble chickpeas that I'm about to transform into something flashy. So give it a good seasoning, salt and pepper, and then I'm going to use a teaspoon of cumin. Now what's really great is the wind's really got up here, not me, the wind, and everything's blowing about, so things have been flying off the table. I've now been told to wear like a small rabbit's tail to keep all the sort of wind from taking away what I'm saying, and now the ducks have started laughing as well. So if there's ducks and swans walking around in the background, you might have to be like a pantomime and start screaming there behind you. Right, so I've got my cumin, my salt, well, there goes the tin, salt and pepper, and then my very handy way of slicing spring onions. Get your scissors, kitchen scissors, which you use them for everything. These, I'm going to put some herbs in as well. There we go. Now you can kind of make up your own falafel flavourings. So if you like things hot, then you can put a little bit of diced red chilli or green chilli. Sometimes I put things like sweet chilli sauce in, which really kind of binds it all together. So whatever you've kind of brought along in your little store cupboard bag, use it in your falafels. So I'm going to put a bit of garlic. Obviously you can grate your own, but I find certainly when camping, less washing up. Put some garlic in as well. I'm going to add a tiny splash of oil to bring things together, and then most importantly, don't forget to add a tablespoon of flour. That really does help bind it all together as well. There we go. Now lemon. Ideally use an unwaxed lemon unless you really love the flavour of wax. If you can't find an unwaxed lemon, quick way of doing that is just to pop the lemon into a small bowl of boiling water, leave it for a minute or two, and then wipe it with a kitchen towel. That way you're not having lemon wax as opposed to lemon zest. A little bit of that, Right, off it comes. It's so lovely on this site. We've just had a red kite going over us. I've got a couple of moorhen that have been running around trying to steal any leftovers. The ducks have really joined in, so it's just made me realise what I've missed about camping all summer. Right, I'm going to put a little bit of lemon juice in. There we go, and then get my potato masher out and a bit of power and just give it a good mashing. Now, you don't want it to go too soggy, so I'm going to keep some texture, but you need enough so that it will bind together. There we go. It's about the time of day where everyone's starting to come out and start prepping their own supper. Hopefully I've inspired them a bit, but I like this time of day. You get the glass of wine out, or the beer, and then you can start smelling other people's dinner. And I'm one of those nosy ones that starts wandering around, pretend I'm walking my dog, but then just wander over and start chatting to them about what they're cooking and where they've bought it. Right, here we go. Now I'm just going to put a few herbs in there as well. I've bought some herbs out of my garden. I don't think I'm alone in doing things like that, because I often do see people who put like little pots of herbs outside their unit. I'm just going to put some parsley in here, which I think will go nicely with my scissors. So it makes a real home from home. Bring a few pots of herbs, put them on a little plate or tray outside the door of your unit. Keep them watered, and then you've got fresh herbs for your whole stay. There we go. Mix those in, and then the best bit, I'm going to get my hands in there. Right, waste not, want not. Let's get all that out if we can. Now, earlier I met a couple at the next pitch who were heading out for the day. Put my washing up. Heading out for the day to go on the steam train. So behind me in the distance there's Langley Hill, and in front of that there's a steam railway line that you can hear the train going up and down, which is absolutely lovely. Much to my shame, I've not stayed on our Winchcombe site before, but I'm certainly going to be coming back. It's absolutely glorious. We went into Winchcombe last night just to check out the little town. It's absolutely glorious. Cotswold stone cottages, very oldie worldy high street with lovely butchers, bakers, and I kind of eat local heaven. Right, so what I'm doing is really pushing those down so that they will stay together. And the most important thing for this is that you do need to chill them to try and let them keep their form so they don't completely fall apart when you're cooking them. So I'll just show you this one, and then I have done the thing that I always wanted to do when I was little, when I really wanted to be a Blue Peter presenter, and I can legitimately say, here's one I made earlier. I don't know if it's just me, but I've always wanted, I think I am a frustrated Blue Peter presenter, really. Anyway, so this is what you want. Do as many to use all your mixture up. Really try and flatten them a little so that they'll cook evenly on both sides. And here it is. Let's move these out the way. Ta-ta! Here's some I made earlier. And I've had that in my cool box for about an hour. And hopefully, yep, they look pretty well formed together. So I'm going to start cooking those. I'm going to use my very handy little Kadak Safari Chef. And do this. There we go. Get that firing up. These are brilliant. Kadak are very good in supporting us when we do all our shows around the country. They let us use their kit, and we get to try out all kinds of configurations of their Kadak units. This is a Safari Chef. It packs down in a really lovely little carry bag. I've taken this before. I've been fishing on the beach with my dad, and we took this, we caught mackerel, and this comes with like a griddle top, you can get like a little chef pan. It even comes with, so it comes with a lid like this, but if you want to cook in it, you use that as like a wok, And then that also comes with its own lid as well, so it's very, very handy. So I'm a big fan of these. So obviously being windy, it's a bit more of a challenge cooking out here, but this will protect the wind from blowing it out. There we go, a little bit of oil in there, maybe a couple of teaspoons of oil. Quite a lot of oil because the falafels do soak it up. So I'm use a nice oil if you can, either good olive oil, or I often use rapeseed oil. It's a British product and I actually really like the taste of it. It's quite nutty. So heat that up, and then I'm going to pop my falafels in, and probably about 3 minutes on each side. Resist the temptation to poke them, they tend to fall apart, so just let them cook and hold their shape for a while, and I'm going to resist that and come back in about 3 minutes and turn them over. So they've had about 3 minutes, they're just browning nicely, and I'm going to turn them over. Now it could be that you need a little bit more oil on this, as they do soak it up a lot, and I'm going to put them on some kitchen roll afterwards just to soak the excess oil out, but they are looking, really smelling quite wonderful. So they've had 3 minutes on each side, they look a lovely golden brown colour, they're nice and warm, they're cooked through, so I would always suggest, I'm actually going to use my fingers, I'll turn it off first, is to put them on some kitchen paper, and I've got asbestos fingers, but I know everyone hasn't, so I shall do it the proper way. And let the kitchen paper just remove any excess oil. Oh, they smell great. So once you've got all the excess oil absorbed into the kitchen paper, you can put them on a plate of salad. It doesn't have to be this fancy, but I had quite a lot of fun sitting on the site with a glass of wine, cutting my salad. I've put a little dish there of natural yogurt with some chopped fresh mint in it, and I'm going to serve it with falafels. Put your sauce in, stuff it with falafels and as much salad as you like. Falafels in a flash.